word on saddle fitting from the man that started it all, myself, Len Brown. After a 3,000-mile horseback trip, I thought I knew a lot. I learned a lot more over the last 40 years, but it didn't take long saddling the top endurance riders around the world with Ortho-Flex saddles to learn a lot about saddle fitting. So the first to solve back problems in horses, lecturing veterinary universities and so on, that's what I did from Europe to the US, Florida, Kansas Vet School, Florida Vet School, and Purdue. This subject of saddle fitting is one that's really big now since I shut down Ortho-Flex, and everybody's selling saddles and they're going to fit your horse with a tree. Problem being, saddle fitters out there are either selling saddles or with good intentions and a lack of knowledge, they are out there to help you determine what saddle fit is. They do this on a standing horse almost every time. And they look at the saddle, they look at the tree, the standing horse, and they'll tell you, oh, this won't work. This is bridging. You can see air up underneath here. Oh, this won't work. It doesn't sit down on the loins. It's got too much curve and flare in the tree. Work here in the front because it bites in right here on each side at the bottom. So it's going to bite into the shoulders. It's going to sore your horse. I've had saddle fitters, one in Washington State that has an LLC to protect themselves, look at one of my trees on these bars on a horse, and the lady never got on the saddle. She was afraid to. She had the saddle fitter look at it, and she gave a full report and described what I described in my videos and on my website is the way a saddle should look and should fit, so to speak. Fit's not the word, but it's how a saddle will work if you use it. The lady sold the saddle, never did get on it on her horse because of the saddle fitter. And if the saddle fitter doesn't have you get on your saddle or your tree, if you have a tree that you want to try, and you get a step ladder, get in the tree. But ride it bareback. Ride your saddle with loose girth, no pad. Put it back of the shoulders is preferable where it should be used, and determine if the saddle looks like it will work while you're riding at a walk. Reason for this is that everything changes when you get on. The back comes up this much when you get on this horse right here. Every stride, the back will be coming up. You will have lift and drop, shoulder rotate, shoulder tight. So you have different shapes as the horse moves. You can look at the saddle, see if it's accepting, if the back is accepting the saddle without any ridiculous amount of pressure while you're in it at a walk riding. But you can't tell anything leading the horse with the saddle on. You can't tell by round pinning and lunge lining the horse with the saddle on and no rider. The back comes up on a little Arab like this, that much, when the rider gets in and starts into a trot. This kills all the saddle fitters' arguments. I wouldn't say arguments, I'd say observations, because they're not observing in reality what's happening. They're like the 5 blind men feeling the elephant, each one giving a different description. I've had customers with 3 saddle fitters out, and all of them had a different description, and some of them had different saddles to sell. Sometimes they don't sell saddles. Word is, when I did Ortho-Flex, which was the largest saddlery in the United States for quite a while, 18 years. When I did saddle fitting clinics, they call them saddle fitting clinics. I call them sore horse clinics, because you don't have to ride a horse very long to then check the horse the next morning by palpating the horse, checking the muscles, palpating with pressure to see the reaction of the horse, to see if your horse is improving, if he's terribly sore to start with, or to see if you're making the horse more sore as you ride with a particular saddle and where it's happening. That's the only true way to determine if a saddle is working. I didn't say fit in any of this because it's hard to fit a saddle to a very crooked horse. I've got balls of horses' back many times. You have a drop shoulder standing with pressure on the right. You have a raised shoulder, no pressure on the left. This is the left lead preferred horse. You have the same with the loins. Saddle fitters like this, and they'll just flip a coin and try to fit to one side or the other. They aren't going to build you a crooked saddle for both. So when it comes to saddle fitters, be sure that they first suggest you put the saddle on the horse with no pad, girth it, get on and ride and see what's going on. If they don't do that, send them down the road. They're not saddle fitters. There is no such thing in reality. Thank you.